It's time for Cup of Rad, so let's fill your cup with rad pop culture vibes. And now your over-caffeinated hosts, Mike and Katie. Well, hey kids, here we are with another episode of Cup of Rad. That's right, the place to fill your cup with rad pop culture vibes. I thank you for joining us today. Now today, we found out that Stan Lee passed.
Very sad news.
95 years old, the grandfather, the godfather of the Marvel Universe, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, all these fabulous characters.
Marvel character, you name it, he probably had something to do with it.
Yep. And unfortunately, he passed away, which is sadness. It's not super news by now because if you're on social media, you would have seen the outpour of fandom crying out because it's a very sad day for all of us nerds. And now, especially with the movies, we see that it's even bigger.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that. Are they going to have an homage to it or how they're going to handle it in all those movies? Because it was such a big thing. I mean,
it was always where's the Stan Lee cameo? Even in movies that he wasn't creator of, like say Deadpool, there was an outpour that originally he wasn't going to be making a cameo,
but he has just become the cameo for like, comic movies.
Yes, so
very sad news.
It was a bit of a kick when I opened up my phone today and saw that, but we'll move on. He has created such a legacy with these worlds and characters that has sparked imaginations from beyond everything to allow us to play in those playgrounds and really help us get through hard times, good times, all kinds of times with these characters and have us grow as people with them. Wherever he is in this great universe that is ours, thank you, sir, for giving us this legacy that you left behind. Excelsior, and
rest in peace.
We move on. Other things that came out that were pretty interesting after the sad news of that is we got a Toy Story 4 teaser today.
Yeah, that was...
And a poster.
Yeah, it was an interesting view. It was simple.
Very simple.
Very, very simple. It was just them, reviewing, looking at them all. They were all happy and dancing and everything. And then a spork showed up.
A spork with a face on it.
Yep.
I'm not supposed to be here.
You know what? Honestly, the first thing I thought of was our son and how much he likes to make random weird things and decide they're toys. And all I could think of was, see, they're not toys.
Yep. Then they all come crashing down and the chaos ensues. It's very simple. It'll be interesting to see where that goes, what the actual trailer will be. Yeah,
what is your first thoughts on that poster that they showed, just Woody?
I'm not a big fan of always reading too much into posters because as me being, I'm going to say a weirdo in that retrospect, I would love to mess with people's minds if I ever made posters. But looking at the poster, my first instinct was Woody's farewell.
Yeah, because he's kind of tipping his hat,
looking away.
It's dark.
First instinct is Woody's going to explode. Stuffing everywhere, and you'll get that final, there's a snake in my room, and Buzz will be like, no, Woody!
You've always been a Buzz Lightyear is your main character.
Yeah, I like Buzz Lightyear.
So I know you would always love to see a Buzz as the main character movie, for sure.
Yes, we lucked out. We got the cartoon series.
I know you don't want Woody to explode, but...
No, I don't want Woody to explode, but it would be a pretty epic ending to a series.
It would be. You know what? I'm still on the fence about this one. I'm excited to see it because I love the characters, but it felt like it was a neat and tidy ending with Toy Story 3, so I'm curious to see where it will go and if it will be satisfying or if it'll be like, oh really, you pulled this out again?
True. The only thing I can go on is that the specials have been pretty decent. Toy Story of Terror and Christmas, the Toy Story That Time Forgot.
Yeah, those were fun, so it depends on where they've put them, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
so it'll be interesting to see.
I'll definitely see it.
Until we get a full trailer, it's going to be hard to get a sense of what it really is.
Yes, right? I agree.
But it was interesting seeing that. Another thing that ended up dropping today was Detective Pikachu.
I didn't know anything about this. I thought that it was going to be an animated movie, honestly, with the way that Mike had talked about it before. He talked to our son about it, who's shown some interest now in Pokemon. And watching the trailer, I was hysterical. I was immediately like, oh my goodness, we have to see this movie. I still heard Deadpool, not gonna lie.
Well,
when
yeah.
Pikachu talked, but that's okay. That's because that's what he's been really, a focus of. But
It's a yellow fuzzy Deadpool for kids.
I know. I'm so excited. He was adorable, and I thought it was hilarious with the fact that he had so much wit about him. The live action aspect threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting it, and I'm really excited to see it.
Apparently I forgot to tell you that it was going to be live action.
Oh, by the way, it kind of makes a difference for the character.
I've never really dabbled too much in Pokemon. I've seen the characters. I know what the basics are. I know the basic storyline and all that. Our son has read some manga.
Yeah.
He hasn't watched any of the cartoons yet or played any of the games, but he's really getting interested in the world because he likes cute, fuzzy things.
Exactly, and so it's perfect for him, right?
Yeah. So
he likes that style, and
he's really into the manga.
Yeah.
His first reaction was, "This is hilarious and adorable." Those were his 2 words.
And that's exactly what I think we are looking for it. So I'm excited to see it.
So watching that trailer, I will electrocute you.
He doesn't understand what I'm saying.
It's yeah. So I think it's gonna be ridiculous. I think it's gonna really capture that market where people are looking to have Ryan Reynolds talk to them.
Yes, I
and
agree.
that Deadpool-esque, but their children are too young, so they're like, I don't want to do that.
I'm excited because it's going to be a little bit more serious looking. Just the live action makes it more serious, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh yeah, it's a Pokemon cartoon, okay, whatever, but it gives it a different avenue to be interested in it, and maybe this is a way, like as I say, where our son's been interested in it more. Maybe he really finds a lot of interest with it. Maybe parents finally are okay with being introduced to it because it seems more appealing to them. So I think it's a great introduction.
Yeah. Well, see, that was one of the things when it came out. When I was older, really, when it came out. But my mom, she hated everything Japanese when it came to that style, like Power Rangers and in Pokemon and all that. She really bothered.
Yeah, I couldn't get past some whatever.
Which was weird because she really liked science fiction and fantasy.
That is strange.
But that cultural style, she just couldn't get behind, and it was always more of the like, no, just stay away from that, blah blah blah. Which is why I'm trying to be okay with.
Yeah. Even for myself, I knew when I was younger, I was very much like, you have to stand for these certain things and other things. It was that fear of the unknown aspect, right? And not being open to other different types of styles. And I know that that's something both of us, we really try to do with him.
Yeah.
Is be like, no, you like this style?
Yeah.
That's okay. It's not offensive. It's not inappropriate. Okay, fly at it, enjoy what you...
I think, personally, though, with the trailer, I think the Pokemon look great.
I think they were really cool looking.
With what we saw in that trailer, it looked really cool to see them in the live action.
Well, you know what?
There was a couple that looked a little creepy, but Pikachu himself looked in the puffy thing.
Well, and
really cool.
Our son automatically said, I think that they were puppets. He didn't see a CG shiny, and I think because the texture was a big thing. They didn't look like the traditional, just shiny, smooth characters, and that was a big thing for him. He was like, no, they're puppets. Like, no, they're CG.
Yeah, which was really cool.
That's a different side that we haven't seen for them.
Yeah, I think that'll be really nice. So that'll be exciting. Besides that, we went to the movies this weekend, and
we saw The Grinch.
Okay, here we go. We have a very special guest for you today. It's the mini version of Katie and I. That's right, our son is going to talk to us today about The Grinch.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so we saw The Grinch this past weekend. We like the live action one and the old classic cartoon. We even went to Universal and met the Grinch at Grinchmas, which you
loved.
So, very excited to go see The Grinch. And what did you think?
It was fantastic.
It was pretty fun. It was cute. What did you think of the animation?
I like the animation.
Lots of detail, right? Mm-hmm. What did you like about the movie?
I like that Cindy Lou Who was more of a main character instead of like a side. The Grinch was funny, and I like that he had some compassion to Max.
That's very cool. He's very nice to Max. He really showed he cared about Max, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. There was a lot of humorous moments. I laughed quite a bit when it came to the reindeer scenes.
Yeah.
And what all his gadgets that he created.
Yeah, that was a lot of gadgets that he made.
It looked like he had like guns almost with those candy canes, right? But what were things that made you laugh?
I like the screaming goat. It was hilarious.
Right?
Because it just suddenly just screamed in his face.
Is there any other things that you really thought were fun with that?
The gadgets, like you said, with the little like candy cane magnets.
Yeah. Was there anything that you didn't really like with this movie?
Actually, not.
No? Mm-hmm. Excellent. That's a good thing to hear. For me, I wasn't really big on the hip hop song that they used for The Grinch, but that was a little gripe. Besides that, I enjoyed the animation and the story because they really made the Grinch seem nicer in general, but he had a real reason, a motivation to want to get rid of Christmas.
Yeah.
I know this movie has put you in a certain mood, though. What did you listen to when we got home?
Christmas music?
He's been listening to Christmas music ever since and humming it all the time. Okay, on a quick note, should people go to theaters to see it?
Definitely.
The kiddo says, go see the Grinch in theaters.
Yep.
Okay, and Katie, you were there with us to see the Grinch, so what did you like?
I really enjoyed the movie. It was bright and shiny, and I love the animation. I enjoyed it. I went in with an open mind, because I was one of those people growing up that the original Grinch was the only way to go. I only really watched the live action maybe in the last few years and accepted that, and now I love it. And so I was excited about this.
You know what I liked about it? Was they allowed him to do a voice.
Yes, it wasn't just him
Benedict
and his
Cumberbatch playing the Grinch.
It wasn't him. It was he did his own Grinch voice.
Yes.
And it wasn't based on it wasn't a Jim Carrey copy. Mm-hmm. It wasn't anything that was trying to be something old school. It was his very own. I liked that he was mean, but he wasn't evil and truly spiteful. He wasn't. And actually what was great was no one was actually evil.
No.
All the Who's were actually really pleasant. It was a different approach for his anger. It wasn't at the Who's itself, really, he found out. It wasn't at Christmas. It was about the idea of being alone, and he associated it with Christmas was when he saw so many people having families, and he didn't have that. So it was really heartfelt that you feel really bad for him, and I think it came around at the very end at a natural way. I liked it when he returned everything. It wasn't like, oh, cool, you brought everything back. Peace. We're awesome now. It gave it a moment. They had to invite him still. He had to still make that choice to actually be part of that. I know that was part of the expanded time frame for it, but
yeah, but they could have just left it, and he could have still been alone. And it was the teaching moment, even for the Who's.
Yes, to be accepting of that,
of being like, hey, you know what? No, this dude needs help.
Well, it was
so
the
we're
forgiveness,
gonna help him on Christmas,
because it even showed them being forgiving,
because they all knew about him.
Exactly.
Right. Especially, I can't remember the name of the character, but Kenan Thompson's character.
Yes.
He saw him all the time.
That dude's my best friend.
Yeah, right. And he knew about him, and he always tried to bring him in for Christmas, but
it goes to show that he had no idea the pain that Grinch was actually in.
Exactly.
He had no idea how alone he was, and because he had never expressed it. So that importance, and then we've seen that even with our son, communication. Well, what's funny is our son actually brought that up afterwards, like how important it was for them to communicate, because no one knew how lonely and sad the Grinch was, and he never even gave them a chance to try to help him. So both ways. So I really enjoyed it. I know the same issue for you was the hip hop version of the You're a Mean One, which
it felt out of place.
And you know what? The other thing too, the narration was very flat. It was very. It almost seemed like an afterthought. Like I wanted to can you turn that up a little bit? I was a little worried about the volume of the movie, and then I realized no, it was made to be like that.
Well, after Boris Karloff and Anthony Hopkins,
those are presents.
Yeah.
And this one just was like, oh, whatever. By the way, we're going to narrate this.
Yeah.
And that was a downfall for me. But overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, what I liked about it too was the fact that it doesn't stomp on the original. It doesn't stomp on Jim Carrey's live action, because each of them have their own thing. The original was more about the consumerism and the noise and the disregard for anyone that is in need. Yeah. That's why he hates the Christmas in the Dr.
Well, the assumption that everyone enjoys Christmas that exact same way too.
Exactly. Then the Jim Carrey's shows really what happens with bullying over time.
Truly, that's exactly what it is.
And it creates, bullies create, anger, and it fueled his rage towards the Who's.
Well, and then the Who's themselves were so obsessed with outdoing each other.
Exactly.
There was no love and community within themselves.
Yes.
They wanted to say there was, but there really wasn't.
It was all that competition. So you get that message, and then you get this new message, so you can watch all of them and have all these different messages that we really all should learn from.
Yes, all very, very important.
Sure, there's humor there.
Forgiveness.
Acceptance of things.
I really enjoyed them, for sure.
So, I really got a kick out of it. I know you like the chalkboard.
Yes, the chalkboard, both me and my son thought it was hilarious. When he laughs out loud at a movie, it's always a good sign, because he's not one to really vocalize when he is amused by something unless it's really clearly amused. So he laughed out loud multiple times, and one of those scenes was the gigantic chalkboard of his scheme of how he was going to ruin their Christmas. And it's this huge, 25-foot chalkboard thing. It's ridiculous. And he flips it over to show Max. And all it is a little tiny Santa Claus written in the middle of it. And it's just so over the top, and it's hilarious. It was such a simple thing. There was a really funny movement. And you know what? No potty humor.
Yeah,
which was a huge
The only
thing.
one was that one booty moment, but besides that, it wasn't.
There was no fart jokes, and there was no, and there is a time and a place for those, but I really appreciate that they could still make us laugh without it.
Yeah, the movie itself is pretty safe. It's clean.
Yes.
There's nothing really questionable in it, humor-wise.
I never felt like, how am I going to explain that
one for later? Which is kind of cool because we don't really usually see that in movies.
Yeah.
Illumination is really creating a decent company.
Yeah, I'm really, it's to that point where we're always ones that will trust Disney animation to a fault. The others we won't really go out to see, but Illumination is becoming one of those that I am interested in their animation because I will at least give it a chance. Maybe it's not going to be my favorite thing, but it's
Minions.
Mainly Minions.
Despicable Me 3.
Please stop
Sometimes
making
2.
Minions.
No, Despicable Minions 2 is coming out in like 2 years. So.
And is it going to learn from the mistakes? But
I don't
probably
know.
not.
March of the Penguins as Minions. That's what I thought the original was going to be. But anyway, sidetracked.
And but Illumination has definitely become a good quality film studio. So.
Yeah, there are a lot of their original content I like. So it's good to see that they're keeping that record going with quality.
Exactly.
And now, a very special segment, Radnesia! That's right, the segment that has us looking back at movies we've already seen, watching them again, and finding out if they're really as rad as we thought they were before. Today, we're going to do a newer one, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. And we're going to do it with the boy. Teen Titans Go to the Movies. We saw it in theaters. We laughed our butts off.
Yeah.
We got it, and we watched it again last night, and...
It was fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about Teen Titans Go to the Movies?
I like the upbeat, inspirational song about life.
It's an upbeat, inspirational song about life. Who doesn't love a day-glow neon tagger with a key guitar singing an upbeat, inspirational song? I mean, come on.
I love the world that they go in that song.
Yes, all the rainbows and the shooting stars. Mm-hmm. And a moment ago, you were just mentioning a few more things you liked about it.
Yes, I liked the weird posters about the Batmobile, the movie, and the utility belt, the movie, because why make a movie about a utility belt?
Right? All those little in-jokes in this movie just make it super self-aware, which is hilarious. Is there anything you don't really like about the film? By your silence, I'm taking that as a no. I'm assuming you overall really liked the film.
Yes.
Which is awesome because it's something I think we can watch many times because all the in-pop culture references from Back to the Future to The Lion King.
Oh yeah, I forgot about The Lion King, and that's hilarious.
Is just fantastic. So definitely, it's still up there as one of the more enjoyable superhero movies because it's so ridiculous. Seeing how they deal with getting rid of the heroes, which is a little brutal because, they kill Batman's parents by pushing his parents down crime alley or trying to kill Aquaman with a soda pop can, a plastic. Some of the humor in there is pretty hilarious.
As well as stealing Wonder Woman's lasso.
Yeah. There was a cameo in the movie that you really liked.
The Stan Lee. He is usually in Marvel movies, but this is his first DC movie that he was in.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because he even says in there, he just likes the movies, the comic book movies, which is really cool. After rewatching Teen Titans Go to the Movies, I keep humming the songs, and I know that's something that drives Katie a little crazy with the Go Teen Titans, go Teen Titans, go. So I'm going to throw it over to her so she can talk about Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Yeah, I was really excited to watch it again. My favorite part of it is watching everything in the background. I was super excited to watch the first scene with the giant bubble villain because as he goes through the city, it's like, oh, look at that, and that has that, the sign over here, and this is this.
Dorkseed toys.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. I liked all that background with that because it's like, okay, yeah, cool, they're fighting the monster. That's nice. But it says chemicals,
pause?
and this says Atom Hotel, and so that was really funny with that. I like all the Easter eggs in that movie.
Yeah. That's what makes everything the best is the movie posters.
Well, because then, for the younger kids, they can enjoy the ridiculousness of the Teen Titans Go. I mean, I love them. They're funny, but they are definitely a kid-friendly
it's also
cartoon.
an acquired taste.
Yeah, exactly. And so they have their ridiculousness for sure. And the outlandish aspect is something that really gears towards this younger, like our son's perfect for his age.
It's like a Looney Tunes.
Yes, definitely.
The Looney Tunes grit.
But then all the other Easter egg aspect is we can laugh as adults and find that enjoyment in those little things, or the other characters that are not represented in it. That's really funny.
Even that scene where Batman and Superman are going to be making Batman vs Superman Part 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's your mother's name? Martha.
Oh, okay. Everything's great. Then they're all super happy.
Wait, what's your father's name?
And then the whole world is going to die now because of that.
Yeah. Jonathan.
It's just
Thomas, and then they just go for it.
And it's ridiculous.
And like, he doesn't laugh at that, but I laugh at that.
Yeah, because we understand what it's talking about with
making
that.
fun of, those in jokes. Like, I love how self-aware Teen Titans Go is.
Yes, very much
so. It's so aware of itself.
Well, I think it's funny that the actual superheroes are the ones making the movies in this movie too. Like, it's over the top and it's funny. It was just amusing to watch again. The only thing I don't like, and that's because their whole world is like that though, is how mean the superheroes are. Like, Batman and Superman are just dicks.
You guys are just jokesters. He's just a sidekick.
Especially with Batman, like, you're supposed to have that connection, and then like Robin shows his room and he has all this like loving pictures and like memorabilia from other things, and it's like, you really he's still your father figure? Like, he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. Well, even when you watch the cartoon, the show though, like Santa Claus is evil.
Everyone's
evil.
And so you gotta wonder, like, is it through their skewed vision that they just want to portray themselves as being wonderful and perfect, and that's the reason?
I think it's the idea that that they are teens, or that they see adults as evil.
Yeah, that I'm the only one that matters.
Yeah.
And everyone else in any sort of seriousness, especially with them, because they're everything that is not serious.
Right.
But yeah, the songs are fantastic. I mean, double over gut laughing with the upbeat inspirational song about life. And the fact that it is Michael Bolton singing makes it 5 million times better.
Yeah.
Because especially with Starfire playing the saxophone and everything, like, these just perfect moments.
Right.
The Robin movie. Lots and lots of special effects.
Special effects. My cape will be made out of special effects. It'll blow your mind. That reminds me of like Tenacious D almost.
Yes, blow your mind. Yeah, very Tenacious D-ish. Yes, I agree. And
I'll shake my booty in my movie. It'll be in 3D.
Oh yeah, see, we just watched it and I'm already still just laughing about it. The Lion King scene was fantastic.
Hey, check this out.
I love that they're all in the Disney animation
style,
too.
Yeah.
Like, they look like Wonder Woman looks like a Disney princess, and the fact that they all react like the animals too, and the Aquaman and Mera swimming like the fish. Oh, it's so fantastic. Yeah, I could watch that scene over and over again. I know you use that as actually a way to sell that to your friend. You're like, dude, you got to see this movie, and you show him that scene, and he's like, oh my gosh, I need to find this movie now.
You got to see that. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the movie gets pretty brutal.
Yeah.
When
the Aquaman murder scene made me so sad. I mean, I can't believe I actually said that for a kids movie. But actually, I kind of forgot about that, and I saw it again. I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. Even when they blow up Krypton.
Yes.
Right?
It's like, oh, by the way, no, you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And
then.
But nothing's worse than the Batman.
The Batman one.
That one was so
heartbreaking.
You're like, nope. Here's your pearl necklace. Bye. Push you down Crime Alley. Have fun being murdered. Like, that's just brutal.
Right. It's funny though.
But you understand where they come from. They had enough rad to get back to the future.
Right.
They had to go back in time.
So rad.
But yeah, really enjoyed it.
If you haven't seen Teen Titans Go to the movies, definitely check it out. It is really fun. Grab it. It's on disc now. Highly recommend it if you want to laugh with your family or even as an adult, because we found a lot of things in it that we like. All the Easter eggs. You're watching those backgrounds because there's some funny stuff in there. And TV watching. Yep, we're doing that. A lot of of it seems like. So we finally wrapped up The Purge.
Yes. I was excited that we got to watch this. We've talked about this already on prior episodes, and we finished that up now. And overall,
it was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, it got better as the season went on. The last few episodes were a lot more action-packed and a lot more of like the what is going on.
Yeah, it went from being some storylines seemed to be kind of dull and kind of like the what's going on, and then eventually it just like tossed that pedal to the floor.
Well, they all tied together, right?
It ended up tying every single thread together, which I thought was really cool.
Well, yeah, because there was that one guy that was out looking like he was saving people, and that was what it was like. Oh, okay, cool, sweet, someone who's saving people. But at the same time, you had this odd sense something was a little weird because the
radio show he was listening to.
Yeah, it was pro Purge almost, and it was like, well, this doesn't make sense, but okay, whatever is used, kind of motivating him.
Yep.
And then it flips around, and now he's been gathering people. Like that was
he tagged everyone.
That was a super switch. Like what the heck just happened? He just threw the good girl in the back of his van.
Yeah.
Like I was totally surprised by that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see that. We got to see that horrific survival horror back that I felt was missing in the first Purge.
Exactly. You got to see all of that. You had people you were rooting for. You wanted to see the different ways.
They felt like they were in peril.
Through. Yeah.
Right.
And it did a good job from all the different characters talking in all different types of view of how they would have handled such a horrific night and this different experiences and what they would have had to endure, stand up to, and what lows they would stoop to.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you do to survive for your own little bubble or to climb a ladder up? All the different reasons for the Purge and the weird ways that it messes with your head.
And the craziness that was part of some of it. There was some really weird stuff happening in that one. I definitely enjoyed watching this series a little more than the first Purge.
I did too.
Movie.
It reminded me a bit more of the original intent.
Yeah, and it's from the original writer, so I'm assuming that's what it had a little bit more. But it had more of that survival horror feel, less action movie feel.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that aspect of it, especially when things amped up. They were able to make all those political statements that the Purge has been about.
Yes.
And still was able to preach some of those things that they were trying to say was wrong with the world.
But within the human experience, not just the politics.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a good all-around thing. I hear that it's been renewed for a second season.
I hope it's
I hope it becomes
totally
like an anthology,
different.
Like American Horror Story, where
different
it's
characters,
like different
city, different everything.
Yeah, I hope it goes that way. I hope it doesn't, because if it continues on, I think it might drag on a little too much.
Well, yeah, because I don't want it to, as coming back to that prior statement there, I liked that it was digging into all the different reasons why people might purge, or the things that are wrong with how we don't process, rejection and irritation with the world. The one he was just irritated with lack of manners, and the other one he was irritated for lack of appreciation on a date. All these different things that we aren't processing well.
Yeah.
And there is endless amounts of stories like that you could go through for, say, a second season.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason.
Even their neighbor, he was going to purge them because they parked in front of his house too much.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it shows then what we are really willing to do when we don't have a consequence for it.
If you're willing to kill someone because you don't like that they park their truck in front of your house, that's intense. But that's where it came to, was that basically that night gave you the ability to not have to communicate and just
not have to work through it, not try to find a compromise.
Just if I kill you, that my problem's gone then.
Exactly.
And it was just like, whoa.
Well, and it's interesting because then it showed though how much of the if I do purge and I do follow through on this, is my problem really gone? And it showed that it's not. That you could learn that that really isn't going to solve anything at all.
They talked about the fact that now they're going to have to move because they killed a guy in their house because they don't want to deal with that anymore.
Exactly, because now that's haunting them and all of that. So I really did enjoy it, but I hope that they do a different new refresh start and just do it as an anthology for sure.
From that, Riverdale.
Yes, Riverdale started up again, and I was very excited to have it come back. We came into it last season. So far, I really enjoyed it. It was a little slow to begin with. I wasn't quite sure.
That first episode
didn't grab me as much as I was hoping.
Yeah, well, it was a flute of emotions. It was, yay, it's back. This is awesome. What's going on? Holy fuck, what are you doing, Archie? This is stupid. stupid. I hate you, you motherfucker. What the And then it ended, and you were just like, what? And then
well, because it was such a switch over, and the starting up of the new one, it was almost like almost could have been the finale from before, you know?
Yeah.
And now where the new switch for things, it's really caught steam.
And then went like supernatural horror aspect.
Yeah, and
almost.
this last episode with a flashback was beautiful.
Oh yes, the flashback
really
episode,
enjoyed
it was really smart of them to use the actors playing their parents.
Yes, I thought that was really cool. It was an awesome way of telling it. It was a fun little Easter egg being based on Breakfast Club, and I thought that was a really fun way to go about explaining it, and not just having Betty's mom tell her the story.
Exactly.
It was, you got to see it, and you got to see the
actually
reactions.
see the actors act differently, and they actually did a pretty good job recreating their parents, especially the actor that played Archie playing Fred.
Yes.
He had some of those mannerisms down.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that was pretty good.
FP too, you could see him there.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that episode. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see, like, are we going to get an answer of where this
the Gargoyle King,
where this game came from?
Is it supernatural or is it just man?
Well, right, because right now we just have the history of why the parents were so freaked out. At first I thought maybe it was something they created, but now it's a history from before them.
It never happened.
And so where did it come from, and why is it back, and is it going to tie into the farm, anything like that? Because right now those people are still kind of creepy. So I'm excited to see how it goes. So.
Yeah, so that it's pretty interesting. It's been a fun little ride so far this season.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying this one so far a little bit more than last season.
Yeah, the last season kind of dragged out a little bit longer with all the mafia feel, and it was just like, okay, seriously, they're just doing it again and manipulating it again. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm interested to see how Archie deals with prison. Is he going to get out? And I would like to see him back.
Yeah.
Because it's a dynamic that's definitely missing for sure.
Yeah.
But, it'll be interesting. So, and then speaking of supernatural and horror, what else are we watching? And Archie, what are we watching?
The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I like the show. It's very well done.
Yeah.
We haven't binge watched it, so we're only like 5 episodes in. I dig the light kind of horror, the chilling, the interesting witchcraft that's being crafted throughout of it.
Positive. And so it's not all like dark and dank and moody.
Interesting though that they still really reflect on the fact that the youth feel privileged
very
to
much
their opinion, which is interesting.
Yeah, because it's repeated over and over again. Her friends, they have some very good points about wanting to stand up for things they believe in, but at the same time, it's very much of I don't have to respect tradition whatsoever. I can do whatever I want. I get whatever I want, and there has to be a compromise somewhere between the stark tradition without any new freedoms and I want to do whatever I want. There has to be a compromise.
Exactly.
And right now, they're polar opposites on them both. And so it's an interesting statement. I'm curious to see how they weave it together.
Exactly. My favorite part honestly came from the first episode there where Salem showed up. I thought that was really awesome because he was all creepy, the familiar there where he was like the goblin-y thing. I think that was a great image, especially when the scarecrow was chasing her.
Yes, you're right.
And he just took it out, and it was just like all of a sudden there was a little cat just walks by.
It goes to show that they're not just regular cats or animals or anything like that. They're spirits of some sort. Yeah.
Something, right? So I thought that was really cool. My only problem though is as much as I'm enjoying it, like I'm really finding it interesting and I want to keep watching, but we haven't binge watched it because it kind of makes me sleepy.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Part of that might be the weird camera.
The blurry.
Yeah, which the last few episodes I haven't noticed it as much. Maybe I'm getting used to it. Maybe they haven't had it as much. I'm not sure. But those first few, it was hard to watch. All of a sudden, it would go all blurry and twisted.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. So maybe that's affecting
Maybe it
us.
is. Yeah. Yeah. I start tuning out a little bit at the end of the episodes.
Yeah.
So hopefully
it's not out of boredom. I really don't feel bored.
It's just kind of it gives that dreamlike state to it almost.
Yeah, maybe it's.
So hopefully it continues to be awesome. We're gonna keep watching it because I really dig it. It really has some of the same tones, more modernized, and then of course the comic, because I really enjoyed the comic when that came out. It's got my interest. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. They've already been renewed for a second season as well. There's also announced today was a Christmas special is coming out in December.
Oh
here.
yeah, we gotta catch up. Then. Make sure
we gotta finish before it comes out. So hopefully we can power through that, especially with the Christmas season.
Yes.
So, and from that, American Horror Story Apocalypse.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, American Horror Story Apocalypse, 10 episodes this season. What did you think of this year?
You know what? I enjoyed this much better than last year, only because last year was too political in nature, honestly. It wasn't supernatural enough to really fit with the prior stories. So I really liked that it brought all that togetherness from prior seasons, and it was interesting to watch. What did you think?
This year was more focused than the last few years, so it made it more interesting to watch, but it was really fast paced, and the story was really going
a lot.
really
Like,
quickly.
it was like, oh wow, we're already done with an episode, and a lot was going on. When it first started, I was like, well, really, where are they going to go with this? Because we knew there was going to be background connections to the prior seasons, and it was a cool twist that it went back in time and then told it going forward from there.
Yes.
So I liked the way the storytelling was done, but then it got to that point where it was like, really, there's only 10 episodes? Are you sure?
Yes.
And I was worried, and it felt very condensed at the very end, and that was my issue.
The last episode for me, even though it hasn't done like most American Horror Stories have done, where they just go left field and you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
This one ended almost like how you felt it probably was going to end.
Yeah.
There wasn't really too much of a big surprise, but my problem with it was that even though it was the idea, we knew what was going on, the ending felt lackluster. It was very blah. The fact that she just was able to go back in time and she just ran him over.
Yeah, it seemed too easy, which I guess is the reason why they did show him coming back in a different form. But at the same time, she didn't really have to fight. I guess, though, yes, she just ran him over, but how many people actually died to be able to get her to that spot?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I guess they're saying that if it had been easy to get her back there, then maybe if there had been more of a fight, it would have been one thing.
Maybe.
But it was oddly unsatisfactory.
Yeah. It was like, I was really digging it. Like, all the season, the episode was really, really, really interesting. And it was like, wow, how are they going to end this and wrap it all up? And then it was just like, bump.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
I did like not so much of the twist, but it was that idea that when they couldn't get her powered up all the way to be able to jump time like that, then you realize Cordelia had some plan, and you're like, wait, no, she talked before about the only way she'd reach her full potential is when Cordelia actually passes, so that the supreme aspect passes on. And it was amazing to see how fast it was, that you knew that was happening, and that she took the satisfaction away from Michael from being able to kill her, right?
Yeah, that was really nice.
So the look on his face was priceless.
Well, sure, he was still a child.
Exactly, and I think that was the biggest thing, and that she had pointed out the fact that, you might be a evil spawn, but you're still just a baby. And that ending there when he did get run over, when his grandmother just left him out on the street rather than spend forever with him, that's a big thing for her to have said to him. So
yeah,
it was a big slap in the face for him, for sure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't know what I would have wanted from it, which is weird because I've always been probably the most lenient person ever on Horror Story.
Yes.
And maybe Cult last year kind of like tainted me and like, you need
really
to up your games a bit. But
I mean, overall, I still really enjoyed
overall,
it.
everything, like, the only thing I would have done differently maybe with that last episode it was weird tying those two together and showing that they were going to be the spawn.
Have it be more of a stranger, right?
Yeah, don't see the faces almost. I think it would have been more ominous feeling.
Yeah.
And then just showing the same cult showing up at the door. I think that would have maybe given it.
Well, there was no need for that tie, so why not? You would have known what was going on. It doesn't matter who the parents are, because we don't know enough about them from before. It wasn't like, oh shit, like those guys.
Yeah.
There was no connection. So, you know what? It was a little unnecessarily.
It was like they were trying to tie too much together. Like it was like the season of tying things together.
Right? Like that is the point of the season.
Right.
So.
But it'd be interesting to see, like, as I say, I enjoyed it more. Like there was more horrificness to it, which was cool.
Yeah.
All in all, I'm happy with it. Yeah.
So yeah, great.
And there's another week for you kids. That's right. We've polished off another juicy morsel of television.
Kind of got back on a little bit of our original plan, talking about different
last
variety.
week Inside of You was pretty fun, though.
That was fun.
If you haven't watched that, make sure you check that out, and because it's always good to be inside Katie.
Learn all about me, right?
But the Crimes of Grindelwald.
Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. Love this episode of Cup of Rad? Please subscribe, rate us, and give us a review. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more rad content.